So I really, after doing Justice League Vermintide and Avengers WOG, I decided, you know what, I want to do a third one of these. I really want to do a third one of these stories. As you can see, it's going to be called RWBY, The Shadow in the Warp. So we've got RWBY versus the Gene Stealer cults. So here we go. So the story is set after, you know, the whole thing of coming back from the Ever After, and also a little bit of reference to they're in Vacuo, and essentially they are back from not just the Ever After, but also the whole Justice League adventures too. So there's been a lot, and RWBY and the others have, like the rest of Team RWBY, has been going through it. They are still beat down. They've now learned about what happened. Winter is now the Winter Maiden. There is, like I said, everyone's kind of going through it. Like, we're beat down, but we're not out against Salem. And now, with Atlas going full fascist, it's now like they're fighting a war on two fronts. So, what's left of the heroes are trying to just regain their footing on Vacuo, fighting Grimm, and also pretty much on the run from from Atlas as well. So it's not great. What's also not great is that there's been a village in Vacuo, on the borderlands of Vacuo, that has been having some disappearances here and there. They've been having some. They've been reporting like this person has gone missing, and now it's getting to a number where it's not like it's getting noticeable that there are some people vanishing. So Team RWBY is dispatched to figure out where the disappearances are, and as they get there, they already like RWBY and the others start to feel like weird. Like they genuinely feel like there's something off here. Like there's something that is making them ill, and everyone else just feels fine. And they're also have they have a church. They have a church to the Starman. The Starman religion is this thing of like our god came down from the sky. He saved us from ourselves. He saved us from the shadow of the Grimm. We are in the forever loving grace of the Star God. And RWBY and the rest of them are like, cool. Aren't you guys? Don't you guys feel sick like us? And they're like, no. Our God gives us love. He gives us life. He gives us nutrients. Our God is an awesome God. Do you want? And they're like, cool. What about these disappearances? Oh, what disappearances? We haven't heard anything. What? Like, there's nothing here. Like, if people have left, it's because the Grimm attacks keep happening, and you're the first huntsman we've had in a long time to show up. So maybe it's just because people have left, and they were both unfaithful to the Star God and decided they would try their faith out there in the lands of Vacuo. So, yeah, if you want to stay, and if you would like to stay, you're more than welcome. So they decide to stay overnight in a small hotel, and of course everyone, like RWBY's the first one to bring it up. Like, she's like, so we're all in agreement this is a little weird, right? Like, we're all in agreement that something weird is going on. And they're like, yeah, Weiss is the first one to be like, yeah, I don't know what the hell is it with these people. They have multiple disappearances. It looks like half the town is gone, and now something feels weird about us. Like, I just feel like off and like almost like ill. And Blake and Yang are like, yeah, totally. That's like us. So Blake and they all decide to head out and try to figure out and get some answers. And they all decide to split up to cover more ground, which is, even Yang goes, that's like horror movie 101 we don't do. And RWBY's like, I know it's not a good idea, but there's something going on here, and we need to cover more ground. We'll meet back here in 1 hour and trade notes, okay? So they all split up. Blake is the one to go underground to the sewers, while everyone else is just kind of all checking all points of the town. RWBY actually meets someone who's like, hey, you're a huntsman, right? Come here. So this guy tells him, look, you spoke to our priest, right? And she's like, yeah, he talked about your star god. And he's like, that thing is not a god. I don't know where it came from, but it is not god, and it's doing something to this town. And it's doing something to your semblances, right? Like, it's doing something, it's doing something to you, right? And he's like, yeah, we did have huntsmen here. They're all dead. Grimm killed them? And yeah, Ruby's like, did the Grimm kill them? And he's like, no, something worse. You need to get out of here. You need to run, get help, come back here and scorch this village, because because whatever it is, it's not Grimm, and it's coming for all of us. And I don't think it's the only one. So meanwhile, Blake is down in the sewers, kind of investigating, trying to figure out like cover all ground. And that's when she sees the cult and the thing they're worshiping, which is a the gene stealer. And they're like, oh, blessed star god, our beautiful god, sent here from the gods above to be their prophet and messiah. And Blake is just like, what the fuck? That is not a Grimm. Of course, the gene stealer senses that it's out. It senses Blake and just lets out this shrieking roar that disorients Blake, but she manages to try to get away, while the rest of the gene stealers, which are now all mutates and whatnot, are all coming after her. So Blake tries to get away, but she ends up getting help from from several Grimm who are under the sewers. They fight off the gene stealer cult, and they head up. They're motion for her to follow them, and Blake's like, I don't know what's going on, but I do not want to be left with whatever that thing was. So she follows them up there, and Ruby has reconvened with Weiss and Blake, Weiss and Yang, but Blake still hasn't shown up. So it's at that moment they're all Yang especially is like, we gotta go find her. Something's gone missing. Because Ruby's already told them, hey, there's something in this town, and it's terrifying. Blake arrives with the Grimm. They all get ready to fight him. Blake's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! They saved me from. There's something down there, and it's not a Grimm. It's some kind. I think it's supposed to be their star god. And that's when another voice goes, "You're correct." And everyone turns around, and it's Salem. It's Salem, straight up, right there. And everyone's like, "Oh, wow! Get ready to kill this bitch!" And Salem's like, "I'm not here to fight. I'm here for a truce." And they're like, excuse you? And she's like, yeah, for the past few months, I've been fighting. I've been allocating the Grimm, some of my Grimm to fight these gene stealer cults. And they're like, gene stealer, is that what they're called? And she's like, I had my Grimm bring some of their cult members to me and reached into their minds. They're hapless slaves to a being beyond the stars. And Yang's like, whoa. Are you saying aliens? They're aliens. And she's like, yeah. And everyone's like, okay, anyone know how to get back to the other universe with the superheroes? Because that would probably be for the best for everybody. But no, Salem basically explains that, yeah, I've learned that these gene stealers are the first wave of a race of beings called the Tyranids. And they're basically prepping our planet to be consumed by their race, which is on their way. And she's like, why do you want to help us if you want to, if you just want to kill everything, why would you care? Why don't you just team up with the Tyranids then? And to which Salem's like, no one is going to destroy this world but me. If anyone is going to kill everything, it's going to be me. I am not going to let anyone take away my revenge, even if they're star gods. So, yeah. Salem's like, I can't do this alone. The Grimm, I've been allocating so many Grimm, and these gene stealers are everywhere. They've been replicating in not just Vacuo, but multiple places across the world. So, I need your help. I can't fight this war alone, and obviously I'm not gonna go to Ironwood for help. So they're all like, time out. Let us convene for a second. So Team RWBY all convenes for a second. Is like, so our options are as followed, guys. fight alongside Salem and, you know, the person who's caused us nothing but pain and misery since before we were born, or B, let a race of alien monsters eat our planet and the whole world dies. And Ruby's like, I hate to say it, but, like, Salem does have an army, and it's not like we can. It's not like Ironwood is going to believe us. Furthermore, you heard Salem. These gene stealers have infiltrated multiple places across the world. So who knows if they've infiltrated Atlas? They've probably infiltrated every major government in the world. So they're like, oh no. And then Ruby brings up the point, is like, so that thing with the semblances, is that caused by them too? Are semblances kind of going out of control? Or, you know, it feels like we're losing them? And she's like, I've gathered the information that, yes, it's this thing called the Shadow and the Warp. It's a ability they have, these Tyranids have, that distress internal abilities. So your semblances are going to be less controllable or null the stronger the Shadow and the Warp gets. And trust me, it'll be null and void once your semblances will be useless once the Hive fleet arrives. And she's like, well, and Ruby's like, well, how long do we have until this Hive fleet arrives? And Salem's like, that I don't know, but it's getting but we're getting close. Like, if I was gambling, since how long they've been here, I would say maybe weeks. Days, weeks, I don't know, but they are getting closer. They're getting more. They're multiplying. These cults are multiplying, and once they get unleashed, that'll be the signal for the Hive fleet to begin. They're going to unleash a massive attack and prep the entire world to be consumed by the Tyranids. So either team up with me, or we're all fucked. So Team Ruby is like, we need to get some help, and Salem's like, you can't really get help for this, right? You cannot, there's no point in trying to get help, because we don't know who's compromised by these gene stealers. We have no idea who isn't influenced by them and who isn't. And to which Weiss is like, oh yeah? Then how do we know you're not, influenced by the gene stealers? And to which Salem's like, if I was, you'd all be dead. So Team Ruby now has to team up with Salem, and they have to go about fighting alongside Grimm. But here's the thing, they now have to do it like a covert war in order to stop these gene stealers. They have to fight in a covert war in order to avoid getting detected. Now they have to fight alongside the Grimm and Salem, and in order to do that, they have to fight in mass costumes and whatnot, and fight in secret while hunting down all these gene stealer cults that are popping up all across multiple cities across the world of Remnant. They are they're popping up more and more. And while Team Ruby and Salem are doing everything in their power to destroy them, they do destroy the one in Vacuo, obviously. But there's so many gene stealer cults, and now that people are coming out of the sewers of these cults, they're getting more powerful. They have multiple arms, they have guns, they have weaponry they've crafted. Yeah. So there's only one. So it's gotten to the point where it's even Atlas. There's now been a infiltration of Atlas, like Ruby suspected, and now the Day of Ascension is now almost upon them. So it's crunch time. So Salem proposes, hey, I don't think we're going to be able to stop the Day of Ascension, but we could stop the Hive fleet, and maybe that'll cut them off from the gene stealers, and that will allow them to that will stop them this attack entirely, or at the very least cripple them, and the people of Remnant can fight back against them. And they're like, what do you want us to do? And she's like, we're gonna go have to fight the Hive fleet. The Hive fleets have these things called Norn Queen. She's explains that I've kept doing more research and studying the gene stealers we've captured, and I discovered these things called Norn Queens, which if we kill them, we can cripple the Hive fleet, drive them off, and stop them. So RWBY and I are going to have to go. And they're like, what? You and RWBY alone, right? Like Yang's like, I heard that right? You said you and RWBY alone are going to go fight these gene stealers. Did I hear that right? You guys alone are going to do that? And she's like, we don't have any choice. So the Day of Ascension's almost upon them, and RWBY and Salem have to use one of the Whale Grimm and a fleet of other, like, spacefaring Grimm that Salem's cultivated, and they head out into the stars to face the oncoming Hive fleet. Day of Ascension happens, and the only thing Yang, Blake, and Weiss can do is try to muster what forces they can in the people in Atlas that aren't corrupted. Ironwood's completely out of it, and he thinks they're all insane, but then he sees what happens with these gene stealer cults happening all over, being unleashed. So he bites the bullet and agrees. Meanwhile, Salem and RWBY travel upward into the stars and confront the Hive fleet. They actually fight their Salem and RWBY alongside her Grimm army begin to fight their way through the Hive fleet constantly until RWBY and her are confronted by the Norn Queen, and Salem's like, you're gonna have to unleash your Silver Eyes, and she's like, that only works when there's Grimm around, and she's like, it'll be, trust me, I think I got a way around this. So she grabs RWBY by the head and directs her and just generates her power through RWBY and just unleashes her Silver Eyes directly at the Norn Queen, killing it, and thereby disorienting the rest of the Hive fleet and driving them off. The people within the Gene Stealer cult see the Gene Stealers as they are and are completely disoriented and confused, and now just attacking out of rage. But now they're disoriented, and the people of Remnant can now fight back and win. So after that, RWBY's just like, whoa, that was a lot. Well, I guess we can just go home now and everything will be okay. And Salem's like, yeah, I could do that. And I could leave you here to die, or I could kill you right now. And she's like, but as a token of my appreciation for dealing with the problem, I'm going to take you, but know this, there will not be a next time. So Salem delivers her back, and everything goes back to how it was. So there you go, guys. That is RWBY, Shadow in the Warp. Yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it. Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.